It was a Tuesday, January 15th, 1947. A young mother, Betty Bersinger, was out for a walk with her 3-year-old daughter, strolling the sidewalk on South Norton Avenue in Leimert Park. As Betty walked, something caught her eye. At first, she thought it was a discarded mannequin, broken in two. She stepped closer, curiosity turning to cold dread. The first officers to arrive on the scene could hardly believe what they saw. What she saw was grotesque, profoundly disturbing. The body of a young woman, severed cleanly in half at the waist, posed, almost deliberately. Her arms were raised above her head, elbows bent at sharp angles. Betty grabbed her daughter, ran to a nearby house, made a frantic phone call. The call that would unleash a mystery that still haunts Los Angeles to this very day. Police fingerprinted the corpse and, with FBI assistance, matched the prints to Elizabeth Short in under an hour. She was 22 years old, a hopeful Hollywood actress. Reporters and photographers descended, flashbulbs popped as the city watched. The story captured the public imagination and launched decades of speculation. In the weeks that followed, the investigation would sweep the city, yet no one would ever be charged. Born July 29, 1924, in Hyde Park, Massachusetts. Her childhood was marked by the harsh realities of the Great Depression. Her father, Cleo Short, vanished, his car found abandoned on a bridge. Elizabeth and her 4 sisters were raised by their mother, who worked tirelessly to support them. Known for striking looks, pale blue eyes, raven black hair, a captivating smile. She suffered from severe asthma. Doctors recommended a warmer climate. At 19, she moved west to live with the father she thought was dead. The reunion was not a happy one. She left soon after. She drifted between cities, working odd jobs, a transient chasing a dream. In 1943, she was arrested for underage drinking. A faded mugshot shows vulnerability. But California's pull was strong. She chased Hollywood, like thousands of hopefuls. She handed out headshots, wrote letters, waited for a break that never came. Still, she moved in the city's social scene, nightclubs and parties with a variety of men. On January 9th, Robert Red Manley dropped her at the Biltmore Hotel. She was seen making phone calls in the lobby, then vanished for 6 days. Those missing days remain a blank. And on January 15th, her Hollywood dream met a brutal end. When the coroner arrived, the true depravity began to come into focus. This was not just a murder, it was a dissection. The official report would state the body had been severed with surgical precision. The cut ran between the 2nd and 3rd lumbar vertebrae, precise and clinical. That suggested someone with anatomical skill, perhaps a surgeon, perhaps a butcher. Seasoned investigators were unnerved. Her mouth had been cut from ear to ear, a grotesque parody of a smile. The wound would later be described as a Glasgow smile. Pieces of flesh had been removed from her thighs and breasts. She had been bound. Ligature marks on wrists and ankles. Cause of death, hemorrhage and shock from head blows and facial wounds. The bisection had been performed after she was dead. The body had been washed clean. No blood at the dump site. Not a single drop in the dirt or on the weeds. Investigators found a tire track nearby and a heel print in the dirt. A cement sack nearby contained watery blood, possibly used to transport remains. Because the body and belongings had been cleaned, there were no fibers, no usable DNA by then. The killer had been careful, maddeningly careful. Newspapers splashed her photo across the front page. The city recoiled and was fascinated. The LAPD launched one of the largest manhunts in the city's history. Hundreds of officers chased leads, poring over her last movements. The FBI assisted. Rapid fingerprint matching helped identify her within an hour. They sent fingerprints via sound photo to Washington and got a match. Media attention exploded. Reporters, tip lines, a flood of letters. Thousands called and wrote, many useful, many hoaxes. Dozens came forward. Many false confessions born of mental illness or attention-seeking. Each had to be investigated and then ruled out. With little at the dump site, police had to reconstruct her life. Hotels, boarding houses, acquaintances. They interviewed hundreds, old boyfriends, transient contacts, anyone who might have known her. On January 24th, a package arrived at a newspaper with her belongings. Inside, a birth certificate, an address book, photos, all wiped with gasoline. Forensics found no usable prints on the mailings, no matches in FBI files. Tracing postal marks and leads led nowhere. A caller to the Examiner claimed to be the killer, threatening more proof. A rendezvous was set, police and press staked it out, but no one appeared. The letters stopped, the trail turned cold. Detectives were left to wonder. For all the manpower, the investigation produced no arrest. Sensational reporting created a media circus, and a myth that would outlive the facts. In absence of evidence, theories multiplied. Rumors, gossip, accusations, each filled the void left by facts. Mark Hansen, nightclub owner, had his name linked after his book appeared in the mailed package. He was questioned and later cleared, but his name lingered in headlines. Years later, Dr. George Hodel would become a prime suspect in certain books. His son published circumstantial claims, photos and handwriting analyses. Compelling to some, inconclusive to others. Law enforcement remained cautious. Speculation touched mob figures and Hollywood icons, from Bugsy Siegel to wild, implausible ideas about Orson Welles. Experts dismissed many claims as sensationalistic and without proof. More than 500 people confessed over the years, all ruled out. Each lead expanded the suspect gallery, but produced no definitive trail. Rumors claimed love triangles, call girl work, blackmail, motives born from speculation. But none of these claims were substantiated by hard evidence. The case became a cultural magnet. Books, documentaries, podcasts fanning the mystery. Some theories are persuasive, others are fabricated, the line blurred by decades of retelling. Investigators caution us, very few theories have anything going for them beyond conjecture. Without evidence, names remain shadows on a wall. Each new claim only deepened the mystery, raising questions that kept a city on edge for generations. Years turned into decades. The case file grew thicker, but the answers did not come. Original investigators retired or passed away, taking insights with them. Could modern DNA tools crack an 80-year-old mystery? Some say yes. Even a single skin cell or hair could now build a profile. Maybe evidence sits in a dusty LAPD box. A hair, a fiber, a flake of skin. But chain of custody and contamination are real obstacles. Imagine the body found today. Forensic teams would collect microscopic fibers, soil, fingernail DNA, CCTV, phone records. Cut and paste letters would be analyzed for DNA on adhesive, and linguists would parse syntax. Can we apply new tech retroactively? Maybe, if trace evidence survived and contamination is manageable. A hair, a fiber, a minute flake of skin, all small hopes. Others warn the chain of custody is too broken. Contamination undermines confidence. It may be a long shot, but some call DNA our best hope. Witnesses died, memories faded, and media retellings blurred testimony with fiction. The case became a gallery of ghosts. Faces that might have been the killer, but whose guilt could not be proven. Her story entered folklore. Films, books, and urban legend reshaped the facts. Decades of retelling have obscured the original record. Was the killer a doctor? A jilted lover? A stranger? Every theory spawns more questions. So, we are left, staring across decades at a ghost, Elizabeth Short, the Black Dahlia. Will we ever know who killed her? Could modern tech, DNA, and digital forensics reveal what was hidden? Perhaps a long-forgotten scrap sits in a dusty box. A last chance. Or maybe the killer took the secret to the grave. What do you believe? Join the conversation below. Will this mystery ever be solved? The Black Dahlia mystery. Unsolved forever?